I design a new spaceplane, Colonel Lagerfurt and Crew take the Keries 1 on a shakeout tour, and Kerbalism has other plans for an orbital insertion. All of this and more coming up right now. Hello everyone and welcome. We do have a lot going on, but given the adventures we had last episode with the Puff Mk2, that little spaceplane that I have, I think I need to redesign it, make a Puff Mk2. The booster is fine, so we shall just remove the booster for now. But what I want to do is take this and lose the whole variable geometry thing, because it's been too much of an adventure. Now, probe bodies, I could hide an octo in here and that would be really useful. That way I don't need pilots all the time. I already have a KOS computer core hiding there, so it's pretty easy for me to stick in the little Octo 2 probe core. Stick that back on. Yeah, I mean that's fine now. It's got the Octo in there. Alright, we're gonna lose the... Let's keep the wings. So we might just use them again. Small delta wing. Might be a better choice anyway. Small delta wing is 50 kilograms. This is a structural wing type A. It's 100 kilos. So this is half the mass of this. I think this is worth considering. This is just the way in which it's attached to the booster. I want to use the same booster. And then it's got to all fit inside a 2.5 meter fairing. So if I get the 2.5 meter fairing. Okay, and then it's left alt and mouse in there. It's got to fit inside that circle, but you can see we're not too far off. So what I'm thinking about, is actually tilting these up a little bit. A little like that. Sliding them downwards and inwards so they kind of are. Whoops. Trouble getting that red. There we go. That'll help. That kind of thing. Up a little bit. So they kind of sit inside. I like it. I like it. I like it. Not sure I have quite the lift that I want. I think losing a bit of mass I don't think is a bad thing. I don't think that looks terrible. Okay, mass and lift. What's the damage here? I should probably switch this to the... Let's switch over to the spaceplane hangar. I don't trust the center of lift, center of mass business. There. Okay, so these guys have to come forward. I also need to come down. I don't think it's terrible looking. I'm not sure how well it's going to fly, but I don't think it's terrible looking. It's going to have very bad pitch authority. Those control surfaces are too far forward. I'm thinking I should extend these wings. Now I'm not so sure. So now you're into a wing that's as heavy as what I had on there before though, but much shorter. I don't think I want to roll this back. Let's simulate a descent. You can see here we got Madby, Orlin, and Bill aboard, not a pilot amongst them. We don't need no stinking pilots. We're just coming through the maximum of our heating here. Alright, we got through that without an issue. Okay, let's see if we can put her down. It actually honestly looks a little better too. I really do think that. Curious, I think I might have more lifting surface. I'll have to look at the wing type A and check that out. But I might have more lifting surface with these, with the wing type D and the little small delta wing. let's see if we can pull this and level off. This is alright. Just pick up some more speed again, get close to the water, see if we can... Whoa! That's going to be a little more forward, I think. Very slow there at the end. I think this is going to be alright. I think it's going to be fine. I mean, there's still some tweaking we got to do. As mentioned, the center of lift has got to get moved back just a little bit. I also have to rebalance the RCS because of the changing of the wing positions. I also wanted to reconfigure the lighting. I've been getting some suggestions on how to use aviation lights on my ship, so I'm going to try and incorporate some of those. And then we slapped this right back onto the same booster, and of course we tested getting into orbit, and it performed absolutely fine. And you'll be seeing this vessel, well, I'm sure on multiple occasions into the future, though to be honest, I'm hoping that the predecessor to this one is going to be an honest-to-goodness single stage to orbit spaceplane, but all of that is going to have to be for the future. Right now we have some happenings going on Kerbin Station. Alright, so we are back here at Kerbin Station, looking significantly less occupied, as in we only have 5 Kerbals up here right now. We have, just to sort of refresh people, we have Kerbal, Colonel Lagerfurt, Bob, and Hades. So we have 2 scientists aboard. We also have a tourist named Kamzi. Kamzi is actually a mission specialist. He has to be up here for a week to fix an airlock. And we're going to get, I don't know what we get for that contract. But what I do have, speaking of contracts, is I have a contract for 3/5 of these people. And it is a Kerbal Academy advanced flying contract. I figure this might make a good, nice first mission for this, for the Keries 1, which is like this thing. It's a good, gosh, more than a third of the length, almost half the length of the station is this thing. And what it is Colonel Lagerfurt is going to do a flyby of the moon. But in fact, what we're going to just do is actually put them into a polar orbit and collect all kinds of science. That's going to be the plan. So we're going to send Colonel Lagerfurt, and we're going to give him a crew. We're going to give him Kerbal, an engineer, and finally we're going to take, we're putting Hades into there as well. We do have quite a lot of science. I put it all in a science package that's docked up here at the front, so that later on I can we can get rid of this when this thing's no longer doing science. Now the thing is, if we go to here and go to here, we should be able to turn on and off our science from here. So we have an atmospheric pressure scan invalid situation. Of course it is. Why is that even on here? I don't know. Crew reports. We're waiting on a crew report. We can run a radiation scan. That's cool. We're going to be going through some radiation belts, so that's good. There goes our magnetometer. That is such an awesome bit of animation. That is nice. Okay. That is running, collecting science. Oh, it's going to take 6 days? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I gotta put a probe up here. It should have had this thing on the whole time. Okay. Shoot. Didn't look at the small print. We can do a material study and a mystery goo and a temperature scan. There's no temperature scan. There is a mystery goo to do. Let's check, let's check, let's check. Are any of these things biome specific? None of this is biome specific, so polar orbits are not going to be necessary. Okay, we won't worry about doing ourselves a polar orbit then. Okay, so it's just going to be a very boring. We're going to go to the moon, get a capture, come back. Nice introductory mission for this guy. Okay, material study is collected. Let's get into the daylight again, because we're going to have to send Hades out. And one thing I finally learned to do, which is, if you have experiments, in Kerbalism, experiments take a lot of electricity. It is way better to just figure out how much electricity does it take to run and just put on an appropriate number of batteries rather than worrying about having the appropriate generation to get it to run. Where is... Oh, and I don't recognize the materials bay because it is a universal storage materials bay. And I honestly don't know what it looks... Oh, wait, it's probably this thing that's open, isn't it? That might be it there. That is an advanced materials bay, believe it or not. So we'll take that data. And can we not reset it? It just says waiting. Is it waiting just to do another one? Okay, maybe it doesn't need a scientist to reset it. I don't know. There should be a mystery goo around here somewhere too. Watch out for the magnetometer boom. Oh, might be this blue thing over here. That would be my... Oh, look at... I see. Oh, that's really nice. See how the... so we can get her to light it up a bit. See how it extends a little tube of goo? That's pretty cute. Okay. We'll take that data. Because these are all surface samples. Or not surface. These are all samples in Kerbalism terms, if we take a look at our data here. Jeez, watch out for the solar panels. You see how they fill up sample slots. They're not data that you can transmit. They are samples that you need to analyze. And I'm pretty sure I can stick those... I finally have something I think I can stick into the science lab I have on the station. But one thing at a time. Okay, where's the hatch here? Go. Yeah, we're going below the station. Woo! Well, actually, that makes some sense because of we're aiming into the brown here, so that's good. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. I didn't want to run it with KOS on the off chance that all of a sudden I had to do some emergency abort of the burn. All right, and we are running. This is the stock NERV engine that it's running on, and Restock is providing these lovely additional engine plumes on there that look absolutely awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to put up some probes dealing with these magnetometers. The magnetometer, if we take a look at the Kerbalism science menu while we're looking at all this, and if I go to the magnetometer, there it is there. It's not biome specific. Sorry, I'm confusing myself. But you can see how it does inner belts, outer belts. Oh, I'm noticing inner belts, outer belts. Sorry, I'm flying at the same time here. Both low space and high space. To cross all of these belts, I think I need to put something into a polar orbit. So I think some sort of probe that's going to cross all of these radiation belts in Kerbalism would be a good plan. So this thing really is not going to do much with this magnetometer. This is really just a test run for this thing anyway. If we take a look at... If we press... Here we go. See, there's our... We're going through our first radiation belt here. See, Kerbin Station happily lives below the radiation belt. So we should be getting... Yeah, we're getting a radiation warning now. I did up the shielding on this thing. I'm pretty sure I did. Tell me that I did. On the habitat, so they don't have to worry about... They shouldn't have to worry about... Let's see what it says. Oh no, there it is. Habitat radiation. It says radiation is 8.9 per hour now. Rads per hour, but in the habitats, it's actually less than 1. So they shouldn't be getting irradiated as much as this thing's saying, as long as we keep them inside. So there is shielding on these modules now. I made sure of stuff like that. But anyway, as I was saying, as we cross these radiation belts, here we're about to go out of that one, and then we can go into the next one. Oh, I got to put off. There's the next one, see? And that one carries us right out to the moon. All of these are different little biomes as far as the magnetometer is concerned. And then there's one last one, which is way out here. The magnetosphere of Kerbin being pushed out by the sun. Did a nice job with that. But the magnetometer takes 6 days to collect each of its samples, so it's not going to be doing too much. However, it should be. We should be collecting all other kinds of stuff. Yep. Just about to go in. I got more mystery goo, more science. Why did our time warping stop? Coronal mass ejection, that's why. Okay, that's going to be a great test of our radiation shielding, isn't it? We are not in the coronal... Oh, we are solar storm in progress. So EVAing somebody to go collect science would be a bad idea. But I don't think I need to. If we find our container, there it is, the experimental storage unit, and just transfer data to here. I'm noticing this. Flag the file for analysis in a laboratory. I think, want to do that. We'll see. I want to get this stuff back to that laboratory. Alright. We are in the midst of a solar storm. How are they doing? Again, they're not too bad, right? It's about 1/10 of the outside radiation they are being exposed to. So I think they're going to weather the storm perfectly fine. Alright, let's get ourselves to the moon. We should be getting pretty darn close. Okay, we are now in the moon's SOI. Now, this has been completed. Alright, it's calling it done. As soon as you're in a flyby, you didn't have to get them back. So, cool. Oh, the material study is depleted. I forgot that's how that works. Shoot. You only can do so many material study before it runs out, and it has run out. Okay, we're gonna fix that situation at some point. I forgot that. Alright, then I guess we'll just warp to... Shoot, so we can't do any more material studies. And the goo's probably gonna run out soon too. Oh wait, you know what? Shoot. The whole reason I'm getting this capture was because the material study takes 20 minutes to do. And now this capture is completely unnecessary. I could have gotten away with just doing a flyby, but of course we never rigged this up for a flyby, so if I let myself fly by the moon, yeah, we're not in a happy situation. So we are going to have to get the capture and then our escape right away. But at least we don't have to hang around. No, all the science we're going to collect is going to be collecting materials. The goo is also been depleted. Ah, well, that's okay. Where's that container? Right there. Let's transfer. Experiment stored, transfer data here. Okay, so we're gonna have to send up some more goo and some more, we can turn this off. There it goes, and we can turn off the materials bay. I forgot that's how they worked. Okay, so we can, we're gonna have to send up another goo and another materials bay. We can swap these pieces out. Silly guy. Okay, well, this is a good test of it anyway. We'll get a capture and then we'll leave right away. Oh, we got to get an EVA report. Silly McBilly Pants. We can get an EVA report. EVA report. We're in fact in a nice spot here because we are being sheltered from the sun. So we're in a nice, very much a low radiation zone right here. So hate us once again. I'm going to do an EVA report. And let's start thinking about getting ourselves out of here. Say goodbye to the moon. We'll be back. Of course, we've landed on the moon a few times. It's not like this is a new experience for us going to the moon, but I do want to go back to the moon. In fact, I think it's Kerbalism. There's a contract for her to do some sort of engineering thing down on the moon to gain some experience. But my moon missions have been one-off Apollo-style missions. And what I want to do is build some sort of infrastructure around the moon and have a lander that I can reuse before we end up doing moon landings. But we will do it. We'll be back. So we're going to be doing an aerobraking pass. We can use trajectories to help us out here. So if we open up trajectories and get it to show the trajectory, there it is. So it's now predicting what its trajectory will be once we've gone around Kerbin. So it's showing, but this is our first orbit, and then this is our prediction after our second pass. But you gotta be a little careful because that's not right. First of all, you do want to make sure your descent is right, and we are going retrograde through. That's definitely what we're gonna do. But if you notice, we have a ton of deployables right now, and all of the drag is being factored in to that trajectories calculation. But all of this stuff is definitely wants to be retracted because they'll get ripped off and destroyed. So what we're going to do, if I hit 1, I believe that does the solar panels for me. Try it again. There they go. And 0, I don't know why I put these on different ones. Oh, I know why, because these bays cover up the solar panels. They have to go separately. That toggles those primary bays. That should have also toggled the antenna. It didn't seem to want to. So let's retract that antenna manually like. And then finally this magnetometer can't be deployed. So we'll retract our magnetometer. We will have our air brakes on. The air brakes are actually toggled with the brakes. There we go. So let's put the air brakes on. Put them on again. There we go. Because they're going to help us slow down. And now we can take a look. This trajectory prediction, I believe, has changed. I really wasn't paying enough attention to know whether it does or not. But you definitely want to do that with trajectories. You want to make sure your vessel is as close to what it's going to be like when it goes through the atmosphere. Okay, let's deploy everything again, including that magnetometer. We are hitting the atmosphere in 5 hours and 20 minutes. Alright, about 100 kilometers. Let's get ready. So we're going to put this on the surface retrograde vector. Retract the solar panels. Retract those bays that they were in. There we go. Let's take a look at this. We got to retract that magnetometer. Where is it? There it is. Turn that off. You can watch it retract it. It's like, oh, that's so pretty. And we do have an antenna too. So retract the antenna. There that goes. Okie dokie. We'll leave the air brakes deployed for now, but I do have them toggled on the brakes. There, I think that's a better way to do it. I'll just hold the B button. And when I let go of the B button, they go down. Because they do tend to get hot. They're in fact already starting to get hot. You can see Kerbal engineers keeping track of their critical temperature percentage, and when that gets to 100, that's when things start to blow up. Should also keep track of my time. We're about a minute away from periapsis. And they are heating up. Now, on advice of a viewer, I did get into the part config file and changed the critical temperature. That is the temperature at which they start to explode. Now they're struts. Let's try putting them back up again. I changed that critical temperature to increased it and also increased the mass. Oh, we got illuminators. Okay, wait. Okay, let's let them go down again, because now I really don't know what's hot and what's not. And I increased the critical temperature and the mass, suggesting that they are built out of titanium rather than built out of aluminum. And oh, I can see the temperature gauges, so we'll drop them again. I don't want things to blow up. Well, now it's the atomic rocket motor that's getting hot. 10 seconds from periapsis. Try cautiously opening these again. And what I think I might do, though I'm not... Oh, we're going to put them down again. I'm not entirely convinced I did it right. I changed the part config, but I don't know if I need to get into the vessel config. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. So these might still be with the lower critical temperature. I don't think there's any way for me to look at it right now. I don't think they're... Do this. I don't think there's anything here that tells me. No, there is not. Okay, we are past our periapsis. And I think I might just keep 2 versions of the air brakes if I can get it all worked out, so that I have an aluminum version that's lighter but will melt quicker, and I have a titanium version which are heavier but won't melt as quickly, and I figure those two, that seems to be, from a game balance perspective, seems to be alright. But this seemed to work. Unfortunately, I'd love to just... I'm not convinced I have this set up right, because they seem still kind of fragile to me. Alright, I think we're good. We can probably just open this up right now. Now that we're up out of the... And what is our apoapsis at? I wasn't even watching that. We're down to about 1.75 megameters, or about 1,700 kilometers for our apoapsis. Coming out of it here. Nicey nice. That's, well, now that Trajectories is flat out showing us a prediction. Coming up, I think, to where the prediction is pretty close to where it was. I think so. Now, what I want to take a look at is if we put on some radiation belts. We're going through this radiation belt again. And we're going to be... Oh no, this is the worst. This is our second radiation belt. And the radiation zone is between the 2 shells. So we're going to have some nice hang time above this radiation belt. But I think the shielding's helping. I don't think I would do this if I didn't have a shielded vessel. According to Trajectories, we should be able to just let this ride one more time around without too much fear, so that's good. We're now in that, we must be in that upper radiation belt. We'll take a look at that. Yep, we definitely are now. So you can see the radiation outside is 0.4, getting close to 0.5, but the radiation inside is 1/10 of that. And again, Hades is the great example to measure here. She is only at 1% radiation. The other guys are at 5 and 7, but that is really because of their time on Kerbin Station, not because of this mission. So I think this is turning into a safe endeavor, I think. We have bled off speed, so this one should be less dramatic than the previous one was. Air brakes are getting hot. Once they get close to about 80% of their critical thermal percentage, that's when I decide it's time to turn them off. I'm noticing there's an illuminator, a light that's getting somewhere, and now it's talking about the rocket motor. I don't know. I'm wondering, Kerbal Engineer's a little bit confused, because I'm seeing like 80% on the rocket motor, but I'm not seeing any thermal bars over here. Okay, let's close that. I think I'm just going to have it if anything gets up to that. Bleeding off the speed. See, because the percentage on the rocket motor goes down when I drop the brakes. See, I drop the brakes, and the percentage on the rocket motor goes down. That doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense. So, just keep kind of feathering these. I'm not convinced these are the ones I want. I think these are still the aluminum ones. I think I got to get into the vessel file in the persistent, in the save file, and get to this vessel and find these air brake parts and change them there. I was hoping just changing the part config would change them universally, but that is not what's happened. Apoapsis is now at about 700 kilometers. Remember, our station's at an altitude of 120, but you do have to make sure your apoapsis doesn't end up in a situation where it is still in the atmosphere, because if this gets down below 70 kilometers, then you are for sure on your way back down again. But it's nice having some control of the amount of drag that you are producing. That's why I like these air brakes. If all of a sudden I find this apoapsis is getting scary low, I can just drop the air brakes and I significantly reduced the amount of drag I'm producing. Apoapsis is now just going to be under 400 kilometers when we're all said and done. I might make this my last pass. I think I will. That went very well. Very, very well. Final Apoapsis, 253 kilometers. That is awesome. I really like that. Alright, well the next step in all of this is get our ship up to Apoapsis, and we're going to increase our periapsis. So we want this periapsis right on our target orbit. So a 64 meter per second burn to set this up. We're going to get a rendezvous with the station very efficiently. So now what we can do is we're going to set up our, we want our rendezvous to occur right around here. So we're going to put our node here, just add a maneuver there. And what I like to do is just put in almost nothing for retrograde, and I'm just looking just to put something in the burn, but I'm looking at our two close encounter indicators. You can see that they're very, very, very apart, but very, very far apart. So what we're going to do is we're going to hop ahead in orbit, hop ahead another orbit, hop ahead another orbit. You can see now I've gone a little bit past. Let's put on here our indication here, and so let's see, a little retrograde, is that going to fix that up? Okay, so retrograde's making this worse, so that means, but if I go prograde, I end up raising my apoapsis above the pre. That's less efficient because it just increases the encounter speed. So the best thing to do now is to back up in orbit, and now start going retrograde. And now this is not making it. There's our closest separation, and I think what's going on here is I just don't have enough wiggle room to affect this encounter at this time. So what we're going to do is we're going to put another node here in 4 minutes. Okay, move that node to periapsis. And we'll pin this other set of maneuver node evolved windows over here. Let's lock it right to periapsis. And now let's give it some retrograde. That's what I'm talking about. Exactly what I'm talking about. Yes. Yes, this is working now. Okay, so I'm going to put back to 0. So I really don't think it's doing anything. There we go. Alright. So with using the two maneuver nodes, this one here is setting up the encounter. I actually have zeros set in for everything. But I'm actually going to be doing another burn in, where's the time to burn on this? 8 minutes and 50 seconds. But this encounter will be a few orbits ahead. It's confusing. But I think it's going to work. I think it's going to work. I trust you. Yeah, it seemed to do the burn okay. Now there's still this other burn for 0 meters per second. That's in 1 hour and 56 minutes. But this encounter is in 2 hours, 2.5 hours, so it's like it's a few orbits ahead, which gives us enough time for a lunch. Okay, so we are off with the Sentinel 1. We're aiming for, because this one is going to go, well, it's going to go into a solar orbit. I was about to say it's going to go interplanetary, but it's not going to go to visit any planets. What it has is a contract to map 15 asteroids that are endangering Kerbin. And it's in a couple of parts. One is to reach the designated orbit here. The designated orbit being around the Sun with an apoapsis of about 10.2 million kilometers. Yep, that's right. And periapsis about 10 million kilometers. That puts it in an orbit that's a little bit lower than Kerbin's orbit. I've plotted out, I think I gave myself a couple of kilometers per second in order to do this. Hopefully that is enough. I do have some math videos on how to calculate for yourself the costs of interplanetary missions and the transfers between planets. There goes another one. The math I had to do actually is very similar to that. I'll put a link up there at the top right if you want to go check it out. This links to actually me going to Duna But this will be very, very similar. The only thing that's different is I don't do the capture at the Duna end. Instead, at periapsis, I'm just doing a straight up burn just to get my orbit. Hopefully I worked it out right. And we have to map 15 asteroids. And then I'm assuming, I don't know, whatever. Hopefully I'll get some contracts and get some science and some rep and some money as per usual out of these things. Oh no! Kerbalism has struck. Shoot, let's stage. Oh my gosh, what is going on here? Oh, okay, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, okay, wow. Okay. I don't really... Can we calm down this? Okay. Clearly this mission's lost. I think Kerbalism struck on... Oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like this happen before, though. I did test this thing, I will promise. I think Kerbalism struck and caused the upper half of that booster engine to fail. That was Kerbalism, I'm pretty sure, that did that. Which just happens randomly from time to time. What exactly is happening here, though, is kind of beyond me. Oh, we're getting lots of fun physics now. A nice light show. Oh my gosh. I can't even tell from this what parts are still around. I don't think anything blew up on the probe itself. I think it just kind of, I don't know, had a physicsy nightmare. Yeah, we've lost the signal with the Sentinel-1. Imagine that. Well, clearly we're going to build another one. We're going to try this again. Now, what I did notice before hopping into the VAB is I have 581 science, so that is that node I was eyeing, and I was looking at one of these 550s, and I can't remember now. I was talking about this last episode, I've already forgotten what it was. What was I looking at? This is what I was looking at for sure, I think. The Advanced Science Tech. Yes, that's definitely what I was looking at. We got the Gravioli detector. Better antennas for a couple of communication relay contracts I have. Oh yeah, more surface deployable stuff. Scanning arms. You have to do any scanning outside of... Really haven't gone to the Munar Minmus of late. Upgrades. I'm pretty sure that's what I was looking at. So, push that in. That's going to take just a couple of days to build. What is sitting out? There is, oh my gosh, there's a waypoint in the middle of the air. I don't know if I like this. Sentinel-1 debris. Okay, we're recovering that. Okay, it's gone, whatever it was. That bothers me. Oh, let's see. We got that being built. Oh, that gives us a build point to assign. So if we go to upgrades here, that gives me an available point that I can put towards something here. Honestly, if I'm starting to consider space planes, I think the space plane hangar would be my best option. I think so. Let's put it there. And speaking of which, how long's that Dudley got? Still got 5 days on the Dudley. Okay. Alright, but we only got 36 minutes on the Maxwell 8, so we might as well warp to the completion of that. And roll that out onto the launch pad. But again, we are in the night, and I don't want to do a night launch. And I can see we're 30 minutes from setting up that final little tweak. Oh, we're reconditioning the launch pad. Let's roll this back anyway. Shoot, that's why that was... I have a second launch pad. Can I roll you back? Cannot launch. I don't want to launch. I want to roll it back. I rolled it to the wrong... whatever. Okay, when's the launch pad? Launch pad's 4 minutes away from being reconnected. Fine. Fine, be that way. I don't care. I gotta go to the Keries anyway. But what I should start to see here is that this is going to be right. This is still wrong. It's saying my closest approach is 458.1. Again, we're not anywhere close to it. But as soon as this is up, we should pop to the actual real close encounter because we should be on the right orbit by then. Like, yep, now it's 553 meters. 554, I suppose, if I round properly. Alright, we're going to put on our RCS system. Really, I'm just going to wait till this gets down to 0, give it a little puff, and try and get this as small as I can. Actually, why don't we start right now? So, boop, yep. That's too much. That's pretty good. Close that. I don't even need the maneuver node, really. Turn that off. Got our closest approach down to 264 meters in 36 minutes. We're going to deal with that right now. So it was a good shake-up tour, I think, for this thing. Went to the moon, got an orbit, left again. Should check, how many ignitions do we still have on this motor? 34. Tons of ignitions on the nuclear engine. I know a lot of people aren't huge fans of the nuclear rockets, but honestly, those ignitions alone makes it very much worth its while. But we'll get Kirby out. We'll do an inspection, and we'll refurbish it. That's probably a good habit to get into each time. And you can see, although this is the newest of my puffs, you can see how the hinges are on this space plane are getting messed up. We experienced a lot of that last episode. This is going to be the last hingy puff. I got those 2 that are now being built, and we'll get somebody to fly this down. I mean, waste not, want not, I suppose, but after that, it'll just be fixed wing versions of this coming up here. What I'm really looking forward to is actually taking some of the samples that were collected by the goo and by the materials bay and seeing how they work with the science lab. Kerbalism does change how the science lab works. You can't just throw in generic science. It's actually only for samples, but it can analyze those samples somehow and generate science from them. Maybe it's you don't have to bring them. I don't know exactly. Well, we're going to find out, though. There we are. Wonderful. But what I want to take a look at is the science. So there is science. If I go to data. Oh, we have something happening with the material study. I think the material studies are being turned into... Okay, we're going to move... Sorry, I just realized what I should do. Because only Bob is in the science lab. I think Bob's doing himself a yeoman's work here. Hades is going to join Bob. So now we have 2 scientists over here. I believe what Bob is doing is taking the samples that we have collected here and is turning them into science. We can set that to be transmitted. I think that's what's doing. I think he's taking these. They're taking the samples. We're turning it into transmittable science. We don't have to bring it down to the surface. I think that's really what this lab is now about. Oh, I can level up my crew. I can level up my crew. I forgot that was a thing. So let's level up our crew. Nice. Lagerfurt is now a level 3 pilot, and Kerbalism a level 2 engineer. Oh, this is awesome. So we can keep them in space for a while here. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, we're going to let this all do its thing. And then I'm going to try and see if we can reset all of this stuff. Restock them. But right now, well, we got to get ourselves... What do we got coming up? Oh, the Maxwell's ready to launch, of course. And here we are with the Maxwell 8. We're slowly running out of Maxwells. There is actually a contract to do 1 more of these, and then I think I've done all the ones that I had to do. But this one is on its way again to Minmus. Last couple have been on its way to Minmus to do a high-resolution visual ScanSat survey of Minmus again to once you hit 75%, then you are there. So we are going into an inclined orbit of 6 degrees. Again, we launched at Minmus's, the relative ascending node with Minmus. And so this should put us in a parking orbit that is in the same plane as Minmus's parking orbit. But of course, you've been seeing so many of these mapping satellites in the past few episodes. I don't think I need to spend too much time with it, other than to let you know that it inserted itself into its orbit absolutely fine. Its ejection going out to Minmus went absolutely fine. And of course, we will be revisiting this probe when it gets itself to Minmus in a future episode. And of course, we got lots of other things to look forward to in future episodes. But until then, I'm going to thank you for watching and hope to see you again next time.